afternoon. It's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at night. We're back for one more show of the Neighborhood News. Like happening for the past 5 years, you can always review it because Channel 95 repeats this show. But if you're watching this show and it's not a Tuesday night, it's because you're watching the repeat show. So please come back next Tuesday night and we will have, not this one, but we will have a brand new show for you. I want to remind you too that on Wednesdays we have the Portuguese version of the show called Amigos, Friends, and that show, it's total broadcast in Portuguese here on the same channel, but on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock at night. So please look for our shows. Today, I'm kind of not suit and tie because it's 4th of July week, and I didn't shave or anything. I said I'm gonna enjoy the week without the regular things that we do every day. And but I'm here, and we're gonna talk to a couple of people, and I invite them to be here because they have an event they want to promote, and it's right here, Rock the City. But before we get into the event, we're going to learn a little bit about the organization. And with us, we have Ken Lambert.
Yep.
I got it right. Varay.
Yes.
That's a tough one.
I know.
That's a tough
okay.
one.
You did a great job.
And you guys belong to a church, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So who's going to tell us a little bit about the church and how it started? And
Sure, I'll start. We are both members of New Life Church. We are located at 1082 Duval Street in Fall River, so right in the old mill building where Jerry Remy's is. And we've been there since 2011. And we are a campus location of New Life Church from Rhode Island. So there are 4 campus locations, and we're hoping to soon move into a 5th one. So we're spreading out everywhere, spreading joy and loving the neighborhoods and loving people. And so that's where we come from.
so what the activities that you guys have there?
For the event or for the church itself?
No, the church.
At the church itself, we have a lot of activities, especially aimed towards the youth. So we're a church that's for the whole family, so from adults all the way down to infants, but we really try to focus on next generation. And so, as you know, there's a lot of risks coming up with the next generations, and with violence and bullying and things like that. So we have these programs that are set up for the different age groups of wherever the kids are, from all the way from babies all the way up into their 20s, to try and support them, let them know that they're loved, that they're valuable, that they have goals, and that they can succeed in their life. So we're always moving forward to promote the family staying together and people just being encouraged. So, yeah.
And how did you get involved with the church?
I got involved many years ago. I know you can't tell, but many years ago when I was in college, I found the church. So in 2002, so I've been going to New Life since 2002, and I saw them from a commercial on TV, and I said, wow, that looks like a fun, youthful church. I'm going to go there, and I've never left because the church just keeps growing and changing, and it's always helped me feel encouraged and helped me move forward in a positive way in my life. And that's how I found the church, and I just never left. And I fell in love with a guy that was from this area, and I pretended I didn't like him. But when they started the Fall River Church, I said, oh, I think I need to go there. And that's how I got to Fall River. What about you, Ken?
Kevin, how about you?
Similar situation. I found the New Life while I was in college, although in 2012, 2013. It was actually a friend of mine who I worked as a tour guide at my school, and she did as well. And one day she had her Bible open, and I grew up Christian, but at the time wasn't really going to church anywhere. I was originally from New York, staying abroad, but to another state. And I saw her Bible. I was like, oh, is that your Bible? And she just started talking. She's like, oh, we're actually having an event. And she brought me to one of the events that she was talking about that we have for the youth and for the young adults. And they were having one that night or the night after. And she invited me to come out. I was like, yeah, I'll go hang out. And it was probably the first time I had ever been to a church where there were so many people my age that were genuinely, in love with Jesus and genuinely happy to see a new person there and coming up and saying hello, and it really touched me. And I was like, this feels like the place I've been looking for while I've been out here, and I stayed there and haven't left since. And then eventually found my way to
How
Fall
long
River.
were you there? How long?
It's 4 or 5 years now, something like that. Yeah, and then been in the Fall River campus for about 2 to 3 years.
So, what roles did you have at the church? Like, did you help at any programs, any?
Yeah, some of the, let's see, some of it is helping out with greeting, helping meet people. I help out with just during the actual service, doing things like announcements and taking offerings and introducing for the message. Then we also have our membership class where it's more of just a way for new people coming in to get to know the church and understand, because we don't want people to just come and be a part of it without knowing who we are, what we believe, and why we do the things we do. So it's kind of just a 4-week class to educate people on the church, and if they really feel like they want to make that church their home, let them know what it's all about.
And services, you guys have every day? People can go there every day, and that's how the church works? I'm trying to learn a little bit.
Oh, sure, no problem. We have 2 services on Sundays. So we have a service at 9:30 and another at 11:30 on Sundays. And then on Wednesdays, we're open at 7 for prayer. So if anyone wants to come midweek for prayer time, we're there every week at 7 o'clock. And then on Sundays, we're there at 9:30 and 11:30.
Actually, to add on to that, our main campus as well actually has started doing night services on
That's
Sunday
true.
night. So it's more youth oriented, but anyone can go. And that starts at 6 p.m. in Smithfield.
Right.
So for parents that have you listen to us, you will say that's a different way to bring God into them, because I know that the adults are stopping going to church, and that makes the young generation not even question about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not even questioning about why you're not going to church. An example, which when we grow up and our grandparents didn't want to church, something was wrong.
Right,
You know,
right.
something
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh,
That
right.
was that was the
course.
routine. Every
Exactly.
Sunday, we got the church and the nice hat cards,
Right.
and everything. So my grandfather was a hairdresser, so he cut the whole family's here, and that was a routine. First thing, we will go like every 2 weeks. We will stop on the shop, get a nice hat card,
Yeah.
and then go to mass.
funny,
and
yeah.
after mass, it was a plan. So with this generation now, the generation, my age generation, and all the scandals coming out of the church and all of that, and the financial part that became almost like an obligation for us
Right.
to go to mass because we need to pay,
Right.
for all that
Exactly.
luxury and,
Sure.
and for those beautiful cars and,
Right.
and all of that. People start making
Right.
questions about,
Mm-hmm.
look at me, my car's falling apart, and
Right.
I go to my church and my priests have a brand new car. Well, what's wrong with this? They're supposed to give their lives to spread the
And
God's
help
word
others
and
and-
help
yeah.
others and
Right.
everything. So it is a disconnection today
Yeah.
on the church. So where the kids don't ask the parents when the last time they went to church. But they still need to hear about what they hear in church, what they're supposed to hear in church.
Right.
That's why they've trying to find out these different ways to go and be connected to their God. I have an office on the same building, and sometimes I'm coming out of the office and I hear the music. So
Right.
I
Lively, huh?
yeah, it's a nice music, but I never pick what it's on the other side of the door.
Sure.
But can you tell me a little bit about what the sounds excited? I have to tell you, nice music, nice and loud.
Right.
So what's going on in there?
Well, we're having a concert, I think, every
Basically.
Sunday. Yeah, basically, you know, we've got a full band. So we have drummers, we have bassists, we have acoustic guitar, electric guitar, we have keys, and they have all of the different electronic sounds that go in there. And so one of the things that we really believe is that the creativity and the color that people have really comes from God. And so traditionally, though, those things are withheld from the church because the church would see holiness as, you know, maybe a little bit more stiff, a little bit more clean, a little
Right.
bit more, you know, maybe narrow. And so, but we look at the world and we look how we are, and, you know, so we live colorfully, you know, all day, and then we
Right.
go and we put on our worst outfits and we sing sad songs and we feel awful, and we don't believe that that's what God has, you know, especially biblically. There's a lot of celebration, there's a lot of music, there's a lot of dancing. So we try to do that in our church, and we say that one of the slogans that we really push for, especially with Easter, is that, you know, come as you are, come how you are. And so a lot of times what happens with church culture can be, you can't come as you are. You have to, you know, well, we still think people should get haircuts if they want. But we're saying, you know, you had to get a haircut, you had to have a suit, you know, you had to have all of these things. But we say, come as you are, because Jesus comes into your heart. You know, this is all spiritual things. So he loves you as you are at home. He's going to love you as you are at church. And so when you hear that celebratory music and people are singing, and everyone doesn't sing. Sometimes people stand and they stand really stiff, but they're coming as they are, you know. So we've got the ones that are dancing, we've got the ones that are standing, you know, more quietly. And really what's happening is people are just being loved. And I think that that's what's changing today, is that even though people in general don't really like religion per se, like the culture of church, like kind of wrote, you only do this, you don't do this, that kind of thing. People still have a desperate need to know that they're loved, that they're seen, that their life matters. And I think that's why people are coming. And we hear it a lot with little kids too. Parents will say to me and some other people, you know, my son woke up and said, are we going to that church again today? And then the parent feels, I got to bring the kid to church because he's seeing other kids and he's feeling fun, and then the parents are getting loved. You know what I mean? So we are seeing some of the reverse. We're seeing the younger kids asking to come, and then the parents bring them. So it's been really awesome.
No, that's nice. And I have to say that I did brought my daughter a couple of times there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think she has a couple of friends that attend that church, and she asked me a couple of times during the school year, Daddy, can you bring me to that place, to church with my friend? I said, okay. I mean, I never questioned much about, you know, I mean, I knew it was a church. I knew it was that she was comfortable going there with the friends.
Sure.
And just that it's good enough for me, you know, because doesn't matter which color the book is.
Yeah.
That's the same. What you're going to read, it's the same.
Sure.
Yeah.
You interpret it the way you want to, and so that's why I never told her anything. I never told her not to go. I
Sure.
never told her, you know, because if I want to bring her to our regular church, she will say no.
Oh, sure.
But when she comes to me and she says, I want to go with my friend to this church, good. You know,
It's
go.
church, go. Yeah.
As long as you found one,
Right, yeah.
as long as you found one and you know that you have a God,
Right.
so that's good enough for
That's
me.
awesome.
And that's pretty much what happened with her. So, and she was happy. I
Right.
pick her up there and she was happy. So she's happy, I'm happy. It's like you're happy if your wife is happy too.
Right.
Right?
Yes, that's true.
That's the same thing with
Yes.
kids. So, very good. And just to move on from the church into the event, I have to say that you know, I still believe, I still have my how I'm going to say it. I still believe in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I still believe that's a God. I believe that after that we will find him, and you know. But I don't go to church. I don't go. I'm one of those people that got disconnected.
Sure.
I still pray. I still ask God for help. I still do all that. But again, I don't need to be in a church to do that. You know, and the way I see it is, from day one, when Jesus was giving the word of the Father, he didn't did it in this luxury AC building, you know, with nice AC and with gold all over. No,
Right.
he did on the street.
Right.
He walked from town to town, and wherever he could get people together, you know, house with no roofs,
Right.
and a lot
Well,
of
they
that.
removed the roof.
Yes, they
And it
removed
became
the
a house
roof
of
to
mirrors.
see him. But the thing is, you know, that's what I'm saying. If you really want to hear the message, it's not where you're going to hear, it's when that you want to hear. You know,
Right.
and that's why I got myself, you know, disconnected. I still connected with my God. I still believe on Him. I still do my praise. I still ask Him for help. I still do all of that. I just don't go there to the church, because the
Yeah.
church to me, it's just a building.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not the God. It's
Right.
it's the building. So, and I think a lot of people out there connects with me, and those that still going is just to follow a tradition. It's just because my grandfather went, my parents went, you know, and they follow like the obligation to go, and that's the
Right.
best way to do it and stay connected. So, my parents
Yeah.
never went much, so I probably learned from them and move on.
Well, that's kind of a lot of what we are trying to foster in the church, is that we don't want people to come because of habit or just because it's
Right.
just a religious thing to do. We want them to come because there's a genuine relationship that they have with Jesus, that they want to be around others with a genuine relationship, and also to have a genuine relationship with the people in the church. That you're right, the church isn't the building.
Right.
We believe the church is the people
It's the
within
community.
within the church, and regardless if we met in the building we're at now or we meet in the park, that then is the church. And we also, to foster that as well, we have smaller groups that we have called crews, that we break out and have up to like 12 total in a group, where we get together, guys. So there's some co-ed, some just guys, some just girls. I run one of young men from 20 to 30. And we just get together and just once a week, you know, read a Bible scripture, maybe go play basketball, get something to eat, and just, you know, build a relationship outside of just the, you know, regular, all right, we're at church, hi, how you doing, how was your week, all right, see you next week
Right.
type environment. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the churches all this movement and the world changing so much, the church has more. The obligation of the church now, it's more than just go there for an hour and follow,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
that program, and then it's done and everybody goes home. So what that church did to help that person, it helped nothing. I probably could go for coffee with somebody and talk about God's
Right.
and get more out of it.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's the connection that you're having with someone else.
Get more out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
spread the word. Tell them something that he didn't know.
Right.
Learn something that I don't know. And I think that's what the God comes into
Yeah.
the play.
Yeah,
It's
you hit the nail on the
It's
head. That's
true.
exactly why we
It's
have
true.
those smaller groups, so
Yeah.
that because we are a fairly large church, especially across all the campuses that we have, and so having those small groups help keep a more small community feel while the church is continuing to grow and get bigger.
Right.
It's good. And sounds like a nice church.
You should come visit with your daughter.
Let's talk about this event. It's July the 15th, so we are about a week away from.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. So perfect time for us to mention Rock the City. Who's going to talk to us about the Rock the City?
Both take turns on it, I guess.
Yeah,
or
go
where
ahead.
you wanna start?
Terms? Sure. Rock the City is one of our annual events that we do in the community. It's our annual summer event, and this will be our 7th one. And what we do is we come into a park and we set it up for a fun-filled day for the entire family. So everything from food to music to prize giveaways to clothing giveaways, things like that. And we set this up, and it's our way of, you know, like you were talking about how, you know, these days the church can't just have people come through and leave. That's not giving anything. So we're trying to come in different communities every year and just bring a day where there's peace, where there's joy, where there's unity, where people are being uplifted. And because there's so much violence, there's so much hatred between different cultures, whether there's politics, economic classes, things like that. It's just a time for a few hours where everyone's the same. All the kids are playing in the bouncy house. Everyone's eating a hot dog. Everyone's listening to the same songs. And we really believe it creates an environment of hope. And so that's what we do. We try to come into a park, just spread hope over everyone for a few hours, and then encourage them and let them know if they do want to go to a church, if they do want to not maybe be in a church building, but get together with some people that play basketball that still believe in God or something like that. This is a place where they can connect and they can know that there are people here to help with life's issues, because life can get very heavy, as we all know. It doesn't matter who you are, the heaviness of life, can break you down. So we're really just trying to be a blessing to people, and it's all for free, and then also give them a connection if they do want to connect. And we also have, just to add, we have Teen Challenge, who comes there and they help people that are struggling with addictions, so that's an associated organization. So things like that. So we really try to provide places where people can be encouraged, can be uplifted, and just feel great for a few hours on a Saturday.
Yep.
Ken, what the times and what anything specific that you want to mention that will be there?
As far as, we have our Awakening Band that's going to be playing. So the same music that you hear, while you're in the office, that's going to be there, but out in the open. And then we're also going to have just a few different kids areas and set up for the kid activities to do to keep the kids entertained. And we have just special environment set up and usually closed off so that we can have a segregated area so that the kids can enjoy themselves, and also a little bit away from the adults as well. So just to keep an environment for each age group appropriate.
Okay, and you have here kids' haircuts.
Yes, that's right. We have a woman in the church who does haircuts professionally, and so she donates her time with, I believe, a few other women, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to have at least 3 other stylists
Okay.
that year from another salon that are coming to collaborate, and we give haircuts, to kids to get them ready for the summer, looking fresh, and it's awesome. And again, that's all for free, so it's just to be a blessing to the community.
July 22nd, July 15th. July 15th. And I invite everybody to come to the park for this event. I don't know if you're familiar with our organization. We are a 501c3 organization, the Flint Neighborhood Association, and we do put a lot of events for the kids too, and they're all free. So probably will be a good contact to let you guys know.
Definitely,
that's
that'd be
great.
awesome.
To come, because on the 22nd we have a free movie at the park.
Oh, nice.
So we feed them too. We give them
Okay.
hot dogs and popcorn and all of that. Everything is free. We don't
Yeah.
charge for anything.
Yeah.
We have full clothes giveaway too, because we have a full pantry. Then we have on the 29th we have the block party on
nice.
Pleasant Street,
Okay.
and it's all water. We have like water slides.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, it's the kids really like it. Then again, we fit them, and we have DJs there and everything, and so probably will be something nice. I will put the flyers together and bring it
Excellent.
to you.
That'd be awesome.
Probably,
Love that.
your kids probably could
I
have
think
a
so.
few more events
Right.
they can.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
can
Never have enough events.
yeah, and feel free to set up if you want to set up a table or anything to be in
Thank
touch
you.
with them.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
feel free. It's nice events, and I will let you know more about that event.
Yeah.
Is this the first year that you're doing?
No, this is our 7th year doing
Wow.
it. Yeah. So it's been going on for a little while now, and we've done it regularly, and we try to get the community involved as well, different businesses, local, and some corporate businesses. We have, I think I checked this morning, we had about 76 confirmed donations that they were giving of either gift cards or gift baskets, fruit baskets, whatever. Like Vare was saying, the stylists that are coming to help and give haircuts and things like that. So we're not just trying to do it on our own. We also do want to get the community involved and other people involved.
And as organization, the church, too many members, like the boards. Do you guys have like a big boards that kind of make the decisions with the church, or it's a small?
We don't have a, no, it's, even though we're a large church, because we have so many different campus locations, it's still kind of a small church. So and our senior pastors are Pastor Steve and Nancy Boyce, and that's in Smithfield. They started the church almost 30 years ago. So themselves and then their son, Pastor Jordan Boyce and his wife, and then they have a team of leaders that work on these different projects, and then they shoot them out to the campuses, and then we do them. So Rock the City, this is our 7th year doing it here, but Rock the City has been going on for probably about 20 years that they've done them in the different locations when they first started that church, going into East Greenwich and into Smithfield and different areas, and just trying to, bless the community and things like that. So we found something that seems to still be working. People still want to feel great. They still want to be encouraged. And so that's where a lot of these ideas and projects come, but they keep changing. We keep doing different things. But yeah, so I think as opposed to a board, it's still pretty a small structure, but maybe different leaders, I guess I would call it. It's not an official board.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a structure, just not like committee members, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's because, believe it or not, sometimes from the small organizations that we see them more work.
Oh.
Sometimes they got so big that they really can accomplish much.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's,
yeah.
And the small organizations, our board, it's only 9 people.
Right.
And our agenda is crazy. And we try to add, and we do everything from bus trips to Christmas shows, and we bring the carnival, and so it's so much we do. But that's why sometimes it's not by the quantity, it's the quality.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah, and we don't try, and it's not like our campus is micromanaged by it. It's more like they give us guidance and instruction, and our pastor talks back to the main campus and Pastor Steve and discusses with them what we're doing, and then they just say, yeah, go with it, run with it, and they just give us help where we request it. But for the most part, Rock the City is coordinated by the people in the Fall River campus, and put together by it and run by that.
Very good. I want to thank you guys for coming. I think it was a nice half an hour. We talked about the church. We learned a little bit about the church. We learned about the events, and I hope that people don't miss the events. It's on the 15th, 1 to 4, and in Ruggles Park. It's very close to the Flint. So be there next weekend.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for coming. And I see you guys next week with one more show.